What up, gang? This is KenZerk, KenZerk, Milligan, the villain full of Trilligan, and now I'm back on Umineko no Nakokoro ni. Same fucking day. It is 11 p.m. I was trying to go to sleep, but I was like, damn, I cannot get this game off my head. I cannot go to sleep until I see what this tea party is. So we're about to check out the tea party, and we're about to see what's going on in here. I looked up a bit. Nothing Purgatorio, nothing about the actual tea party, but just to see how long it was and to see if it was important. Apparently it is, and it's not that long, so I'm gonna get into it. Hey, everyone, congrats on finishing Umineko no Nakokoro ni! Man, I still don't have a clue what was going on when the story ended. So just what happened? Was that basically the bad ending where time runs out before the culprit gets exposed? Definitely a bad ending. That's right. Beatrice's letter, which Mario read on the first day, did tell us in advance to solve the riddle of the epitaph. We were all so busy trying to protect ourselves and look for the culprit that we didn't even take a shot at it. That's right. If we had actually tried to solve the riddle, maybe things would have ended differently. So, everyone's just not dead. What the fuck? I wonder about that. Shannon, you did a good job too. You didn't have to be our waitress and serve tea. After all, this is a rap party. As a group of people who met a horrible fate, let's all get along and lick each other's wounds. Speaking of a horrible fate, Shannon beats the rest of us hands down, doesn't she? She was such a beautiful character, so I thought she'd definitely survive until the end. But she was killed right in the beginning. And on top of that, what was it? Half of her face was smashed, right? That's the worst. That was my role, so there was no way around it. Nei-san, there is nothing for you to worry about. Judging by the last epilogue, even Milady and the rest of them met with an extremely tragic end. Seems so. I think I remember seeing this horrible picture, kind of like my entire body had been eaten apart and dismembered. Speaking of which, don't you think Kana's last moments were the coolest? Even though he had the tables turned on him, it was still a showdown with the culprit, right? It's a whole bunch better than our confusing last moments, right? Though in the end, I was unable to get a solid hit in. Still, I think Kana's death was a big hint. After all, because of that, the existence of the 19th person was made clear. That's right. At that time, everyone's location was obvious, so it was impossible for anyone other than some unknown 19th person to kill Kanon. I said it was Beatrice from the beginning over and over. I don't want to believe it, but that does prove the culprit was the witch calling herself Beatrice. That's right. There were many strange things that happened that a human couldn't do. Only a witch could do things like murdering Aunt Ava in that closed room. A human couldn't do it. Not only is the existence of a 19th person clear, but it's also obvious that this person holds a power that humans can't even imagine. In that case, I don't think there's anything wrong with calling this person Beatrice. I think we probably met at the very end. Met with the Golden Witch. Like I kept saying, Beatrice exists. It all went bad because no one ever believed. Even one of her witch friends says the miracles won't occur if you don't believe. That's right. Beatrice is generous to those who respect her. It seems to me that Mario was never a target of Beatrice's wrath up until the very end, despite the horrible crimes that occurred one after another. Well, Mario believed in Beatrice from the very beginning. But if that's the case, how do you explain why you and the rest were all killed? You guys believed in Beatrice just as much, right? Beatrice probably had her reasons. If the song from the epitaph represented Beatrice's resurrection ceremony, many sacrifices were needed. He simply must have been designated to be one of those. Shannon, you met a horrible end. At the very least, I wish your death could have been more peaceful and pretty. Well, it's not like it hurt. Anyway, right now I'm perfectly fine, so don't worry. After seeing him stroke Shannon's cheek, which had been crushed during the story, everyone laughed out loud, smiling. Well, it feels a bit weird saying this, but I'm sure this story would fit into the standard mystery game. I'm a bit surprised to find out that it's a fantasy. After all, a Western mansion stood away from the outside world on an isolated island, with an inheritance problem on everyone's mind. Sounds like the typical mystery novel to me. It's not fantasy! Beatrice exists! Yes, we understand. Beatrice-sama does exist. That's right. Beatrice does exist. I hate to admit it, but I've got no choice. Because it's obvious that a 19th person, a witch, was involved. Many things happened that'd be impossible for humans. During the story, we tried to deny that in all sorts of ways. But now I can say it for sure. Each crime, every single one, would have been impossible for a human. It'd be impossible to carry out unless it was the witch Beatrice using all the power magic could provide. The culprit was a witch. That point's perfectly clear. Long live Beatrice. Everyone believed. I'm so glad. This is creepy as fuck. Gods and witches might seem terrifying to people who are frightened of them, but I think they must be affectionate to those who believe in and respect them. I think you're right. So this murder case game is finally over. Now's the time to pull ourselves together and try hard to solve the riddle of the epitaph, just like Beatrice said, right? I agree. Beatrice will definitely be happy. Everyone ignored the letter during the story. Even though it was thrust right in front of us, we almost completely ignored it. I kind of feel sorry for Beatrice. I've got the epitaph written down here. Let's all solve it. Let's all solve it. This story probably went wrong ever since that time. That may be so. Maybe we should have tried solving the epitaph's riddle from the beginning like Beatrice said. Well, it's a little late now. Even so, let's all try solving it now and see if the witch forgives us. Let's go, let's try to solve the riddle of the epitaph. It was something like, behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. Maria put her notebook on the table and opened to the page where the epitaph was written. Everyone stared at it, getting really into it as they started guessing this and that about the riddle. Surrounded by the smell of black tea and freshly baked vanilla cookies, they spent their time comfortably and happily. It's gonna crack on me. It's gonna crack on me. Hold on a second, you guys. But Battler spoke in a way that cut through the conversation. His expression looked a little unhappy. What could he not like about all this fun? It's creepy as hell! I've been listening to you guys for a while, but why did you all stop thinking? Why are you so sure that the witch was behind all this? Don't you realize something like that can't exist? With just those words, the happy atmosphere surrounding the tea party evaporated in an instant. George and Jessica, and Shannon and Kanon, and Maria, all of them stared blankly, wondering what in the world Battler was talking about. Even the foolish, arrogant Battler realized that he hadn't chosen his words well. Because, isn't it clear that these crimes were impossible for a human? That's right. None of the cases would have been possible for a human. That's true. After all, wasn't it full of things that humans couldn't explain? I don't understand what you're saying, Battler. I'm the one who doesn't have a clue what you guys are talking about. Isn't it obvious that humans committed these crimes? There's no way something like a witch exists, right? Then, what about when I was killed in the storehouse and something horrible was done to half of my face? If the culprit was a human, how could they have accomplished it? That's, well, hard to imagine that they did something that awful. But that was the Rose Garden storehouse, right? I'm sure there were plenty of weird tools in there. Let's say they used some electrical tools like a grinder or an electric saw. That's... Then Battler, how do you explain Grandfather disappears from the study when it was a closed room? Even though the door was sealed, Grandfather just suddenly disappeared, right? We talked about that during the story too. It's not impossible Grandfather used some trick to fool the receipt. It's also possible he went out of the window, fell down, and unnaturally locked the window from the inside. I can think of a bunch of tricks you could use without relying on magic. That makes sense, but... In that case, Battler, how do you explain the way my parents were killed in the guest room? The door was sealed by the lock and chain. Naturally, the window was sealed too. How do you think a human could have killed my parents? Well, we did have to leave that trick alone during the story. Anyway, there's at least a good chance the culprit had a key. And it was possible to look in through the crack of the door that the chain allowed. I know this is a stretch, but it's possible some device was used through that crack. Like maybe they stuck something through it. Well, even though the door chain was incredibly simple, it's a big factor in setting up a closed room. Still, there's probably some closed room trick they could have used. If you buy some closed room mystery novels from the bookstore, you could probably find some trick that fit perfectly. Anyway, I can't think of one now, but I claim there's nothing humans can't do if they try hard enough. Isn't that argument horribly irrational? It's just ridiculous to claim that it's possible for a human to do something even though you can't explain how. Why is that ridiculous? Why did you all stop thinking? Even something that looks impossible has to be doable. Doesn't it always work like that? Battler, you're the one being ridiculous. If you think a human could have done it, try explaining how. You can't, can you? And you're okay with saying the culprit is a witch just because I can't explain it. With that argument, all the unsolvable crimes in the world could be resolved by saying a witch is the culprit. Battler, you're sidestepping the issue and you aren't explaining anything. We're saying a human couldn't have done it. Therefore, the culprit is something that isn't human. And that something is a witch. And yet you keep arbitrarily deciding that witches are impossible even though you can't explain anything. It's almost like humanity was during the Dark Ages. Like those fools who claimed that heaven spun around the earth. Those who said the earth couldn't be spinning even though they couldn't explain why. That kind of argument kind of pisses me off. So this is basically what you're trying to say. If I can't explain how a human could do it, then I must accept that the culprit is a witch. It's not like we're forcing you to go that far. We were just wondering on what basis you could say such nonsense. Nonsense? Hey, have I really been saying something that weird just now? Am I the one who's crazy? You guys are really starting to freak me out. Battler, when I died in the boiler room, I was killed by a 19th person who shouldn't exist. Can you explain how a human could have done that? At that time, the location of the 18 were well known. Even so, I was killed. We talked about that in the story as well, right? Kumasawa, for example. She said she followed right after you and headed down to the boiler room, but we can't know for sure whether that was a lie or not. For all we know, she might have entered the boiler room with you and caught you by surprise. Or maybe when you stepped into the boiler room, you activated some kind of trap. One that might have been set up to hit you with one of the ice picks. After all, the stink from grandfather's body was coming from the incinerator. Someone was bound to go check. So if the culprit had set a trap beforehand, they could have easily stayed away from that place and used the time of Kanan's death to create an alibi. You talk about a trap in the boiler room, but what kind of trap could that be? That's right. Following his death, everyone immediately ran over to the boiler room. But we didn't find any kind of weird device, did we? That is correct. Battler, what kind of trap could I have been killed with? Well, I don't know that. But anyway, they must have used some clever trap, or maybe someone's lying. Or what about this? Kanan, what if the whole thing was just you play acting? That's it, you were play acting. Aunt Ava and Uncle Hideyoshi were also play acting. They made the closed room themselves and were only pretending to be dead. Battler, has your head been, feeling okay? Yeah, I'm starting to worry about you, Battler. Should I bring some cold drinks? Don't look at me with those pitying eyes. I'm not saying something that crazy, right? I'm just pointing out some possibilities you might find if you think of it all as a trick. Look, isn't it a pretty classic trick in mystery novels that one of the victims just be playing dead? A classic trick. In other words, when Kanan was killed, we knew for sure where all the rest were. And let's assume that Kumasawa Ba was in line. But that's only counting the survivors. What if the culprit pretended to be dead and joined a group of real victims so we lose track of them, and then acted on their own later? Explaining would be everything would be explained. Huh? So are you trying to say that Aunt Ava or one of the others was the culprit? But didn't Dr. Nanjo confirm all of their deaths as a doctor? That's right. Dr. Nanjo checked all of the victims. Battler, for your theory to work, wouldn't Dr. Nanjo have to be one of the culprits too? Yeah, that's right. Once you consider that Dr. Nanjo might have been one of the culprits in the fake proclamation of the death, the whole story changes. See? That's also a classic trick in mystery novels, isn't it? But Dr. Nanjo was also killed, right? Battler, you just seem hella fucking desperate. Like, just beyond desperate. Like, you just refuse to accept the witch. About that. That's right, Dr. Nanjo faked his death. After all, there wasn't anyone except Dr. Nanjo who could have examined the corpses properly. And everyone was really confused then anyway. We didn't have any spare time to check and see if he still had a pulse. With this theory, any one of the dead people could have been walking around. I think it would have been hard for the 6 of us who died in the beginning to do that. After all, the shutter was closed, and there was a padlock that couldn't have been opened from the inside. That's right. Mom was holding on to that key. So was Mom one of the culprits too? Wait a sec. Maybe it was impossible for the first 6, but in the case of Anaki's parents, the door was only locked from the outside. So they could have opened it from the inside. That's right. After we left the room, maybe they jumped out the window and got to the boiler room first. Is that too much of a stretch? Or maybe Dr. Nanjo made a mistake when examining the corpses. Look, he said it himself, right? He said there's a high probability of making a mistake when examining corpses. If you disguise it well enough or prepare a substitute body, you can fake your own death. Let's leave the method or trick they use for later, and you see, it's not that hard to deny a 19th person existed, right? Much less a witch, right? At least that much is completely impossible. Just seem really desperate. I don't know why you've been trying to stubbornly say that one of us is the culprit. In other words, you want to suspect one of your relatives? That's not it. It's just, I can't easily accept that a 19th person existed. And even if one did, I think we should construct our argument from the point of view that the culprit was a human. I'll only accept that it's a witch in desperation, at the very end, after everything else has been disproved. There's no way witches exist, right? Why has everyone been casually accepted that the culprit's a witch? I think it's great how your family love make you hate the thought that someone close to you was a murderer. But is it okay to let that fool you? Don't you want to find the detestable culprit who killed so many people? Aiki, don't you want to avenge your parents? Jessica, don't you want to avenge Kanon? And Kanon, don't you want to avenge Shannon? Shannon, you should at least want to know who it was that killed you. Why is everyone totally surrendered and decided that the culprit was a witch? What's wrong with all of you? The foolish and short-tempered battler tried to force his ignorance on the others and yelled at them. Is Beatrice narrating? Is Beatrice narrating right now? Because she's talking a lot of shit. However, everyone just looked at him pityingly, silently watching over him. In that time, the wise Maria, this is definitely Beatrice. At that time, the wise Maria laughed and pointed out Battler's mistake. I'm shocked. All I see is you repeating this nonsense thinking you figured something out, Battler. So, what's next? How would a human do it? In practical terms, I mean. I imagine you'll say, I just can't think of anything now, or with some kind of device, using abstract words to run away and evade the topic. What I really want to know, Battler, is this. Why don't you believe in Beatrice? She exists, so why don't you believe? Because she doesn't exist. Witches don't exist. There's no way. It was almost like a spoiled child who just doesn't want to accept something. The pitying gazes quietly closed in around Battler, but they didn't reach his stubborn heart. You realize you're acting like a spoiled brat throwing a tantrum, right? Battler, I understand your feelings, but Beatrice does exist. Battler, why don't you believe? Even though there's so much proof. I don't accept the argument that the witch must be behind everything just because I can't explain it. Does this mean that if you don't know how a light bulb shines and magic is the cause? That's wrong, isn't it? There's nothing that can't be explained without magic. All of this about witches and magic is just abdication of thought. You just surrendered and gave up because you don't understand what happened. Isn't that right? Well, unsurprisingly, it looks like you alone won't believe no matter what, Battler. If even a single person doesn't believe, the miracle won't occur. So if you don't rethink your ignorant theories, the miracle, the magic won't be completed. Now I see. I finally figured it out. So in other words, you guys are trying to force me to say the witch exists, right? A lie that everyone accepts becomes the truth. Is that what this is all about? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I keep going on about this. What you're doing is useless. I refuse. You guys are all pressing me, and that's why it's all useless. Why? Sorry. Why don't you let me spin the chessboard around one last time? If you want to force me to accept that there's a witch, there's a really easy way. And it's not that indirect way of saying it must be a witch because humans couldn't have done it. All you have to do is show me a witch doing it with magic. Furthermore, what Maria said earlier is what really dig her grave. You said that if even one person doesn't believe, a miracle won't occur. But real miracles happen whether people believe in them or not. Even if I alone don't believe. So any miracle or magic, any miracles or magic or witches that exist only because I believe in them are downright lies. The uneasy The uneasy mood following Battler's ignorant rant was blown away by a very soft and light laugh. Whose laugh? Battler was surprised. He had never heard that voice before. When he looked at George and Jessica, at Shannon and Kanon, at Maria, he noticed that they had suddenly gone respectfully silent. Oh shit! How amusing! I haven't met such a charming human for quite some time. What? Who are you? Don't you even know the host of the tea party you were invited to? How amusing indeed. This is Beatrice, the golden witch who has lived for 1,000 years. It is an honor to be graced by your presence, Beatrice. Please forgive how Battler's acting. This guy's just stubborn and he still doesn't understand the situation he's in. What a treat this is. Most witches get tired of living after the first 1,000 years. How nice it is to meet a man with backbone such as yourself every once in a while. It is quite an honor to be presented when Beatrice shows herself, Battler. To be present. How astonishing. Are you really that desperate to make me believe that a witch? That a 19th person is the culprit? This is starting to get interesting. And it's all useless. You must be the illusion that Mario and the others call the witch Beatrice. And you'll only be allowed to exist if everyone believes it. You have that kind of half-existence, right? That's why you want to make me believe too. You can't exist because I alone don't believe in you. Isn't that right? Your powers of comprehension aren't bad for a mere commoner who knows nothing of magic. Yes, it seems you were born with a strong magic-resisting power. You're a natural enemy of us witches. No matter how much we turn your world upside down, you never believe in us. Therefore, the magic won't succeed. I accept that attitude of yours. I've got no clue what you're saying. It's very kind of you to go through all the trouble of showing yourself to us, but I don't believe in you in the slightest. It's true that many strange things happened during those 2 days. Like Maria said earlier, even though I think all the tricks could be explained, I still couldn't lay out the practical details of each one. However, that doesn't mean I'll surrender. I'm different from the rest of them, got it? I'll never accept that it was the work of a witch just because I can't explain it. This keeps getting more amusing. Making you surrender will be worth my while. You're just the kind of man I'd like to force into praising my name. I'd love to try making a man like you kiss my toes. I would have... Hold on. Y'all don't know, I fuck with feet. If you want to talk nonsense, talk all you want. I deny you exist. All of the events can be explained with human tricks. There's no room for even a speck of magical witches. Wonderful. What a perfect way to divert oneself from 1,000 years of boredom. Then let me ask you. A short while ago, you said that using the crack in the door would be sufficient to kill Ava and Hideyoshi, right? Explain how they could have been killed using some human trick. Suddenly jumping right into the toughest part, are you? Does that mean this is the trick you're proudest of? Miss Real Culprit? The fuck was that? With the shake of her golden pipe, gentle, multicolored smoke trailed out of the end. The smoke quickly obscured their surroundings, and they were suddenly in the hallway of the mansion. Brother, she just fucking teleported you. Stop being stubborn. She dead ass just teleported you, bro. The door in front of them was slightly open, but secured by the chain was. That's right, it's a door to the room where Ava and Hideyoshi were killed. Nice trick. Very well. Show me what you would do. Show me what you would do to this small crack, battler. They probably had some device to shoot those ice picks. If they use that, how would they reach Ava over the bed when you can't see that far through this crack? And how would they reach Hideyoshi in the bathroom with the door shut? Damn! There's a crack? There should be some way. If you can't think of one, allow me. How would a witch do it? Come on, let's see a little trick. Battler, you're being rude to Beatrice. How nice, how nice. What a charming man. That'll make it even more fun to force him into submission. You really want to make me kiss your toes that much? Only if I surrender. But watch, I'll definitely expose this trick and I'll make you kiss my ass instead, bitch. What a delightful man. I'll remember that promise. Weak witches kiss the behinds of demons to gain power, because there's no more humiliating oath. Just being told that makes me want to force you into surrender. Paying no mind to Battler's worthless ranting. Beatrice has to be the narrator, bro. She has to be the narrator. Paying no mind to Battler's worthless ranting, Beatrice once again shook the golden pipe. That's right. That golden pipe was her precious magic cane. Come, arise, children. I am the guide of purgatory. Forgive the deadly sins and hold the 7 stakes. Guided by those magic words, which seemed like a command, 7 stakes gathered. They were the stakes of the 7 demons, symbolizing the deadly sins of sinful people. Beelzebub, Asmodeus, come, forgive the sins. Release the spirits of the sinners. The pics of Beelzebub and Asmodeus responded to Beatrice's call. The 2 sticks of the demons were sucked in through the crack of the door like billiard balls struck by a cue stick. Then, several scattered noises refracted through the walls, making the sound like a woodpecker. And at the end, a pleasant sound could be heard. It was a small, satisfying sound, like the one heard when someone is chopping firewood and the falling axe neatly and easily slices through the wood. It was a sign of the 2 picks burying themselves deep into Ava and Hideyoshi's foreheads. Right down the middle. Want to see? They definitely heard 2 sounds, like a pair of foreheads being split open. Battler wasn't permitted to see it since he was on the other side of the door. But those 2 who had died again in this second time, they lay not an inch apart from where they had lain the last time, with the exact same blood spray as before. You moron! That's insane! You think you could just kill them like that? I can kill them. I can kill them just like this. Suddenly they were no longer in the hall, but seated at the tea party that had started from. Everyone but Battler was sitting meekly, but Kanon was moaning, fresh blood dangling from his mouth. What a road thing to do at a tea party. Satan's stake was buried deep into Kanon's chest. Kanon! Damn it! Battler was the only one getting agitated. George, Jessica, Shannon, everyone else was meekly hanging their heads like students being yelled at by their teacher. Kanon was captivated by a trifling anger and tried to disturb my banquet. Being easily captivated by anger is your deadly sin. Cleanse yourself, repent, and do it over. Jeez. Beatrice, please forgive him. I think Kanan has repented enough. Wonderful. I am generous to those who respect me. Don't fuck with me! Do you think I'll accept your existence just because of this cheap trick? Like hell, you're a 1,000-year-old witch? Your tricks aren't 1,000 years old. This is some of a century of classic tricks from a mystery genre. There's no such thing as magic. Definitely not. All of the crimes can be explained with human tricks. You would explain my 1,000 years with human years of experience? Good, good. That's why I like you. Foolish battling. Cut it out, battler. You can't. Go against the witch. Shana started moaning, holding her cheek. Maybe she had a toothache. But apparently it wasn't a toothache after all. A slight redness spread across the cheek Shana was holding. Looked like that redness was causing Shana unbearable pain. Her fingers was pressing against her cheek, and drops of sweat appeared all over her body. Hang in there, hang in there! What's going on? Damn it, what the hell is that red stuff? It expanded rapidly, covering half of Shanon's face. Then the stupid dunce battler finally realized. Please, battler, please believe in Beatrice, I beg you! Because you won't believe! Because you won't believe! The magic is dissolving! For the first time in his life, Battler heard that sound like a pomegranate splitting. The red spray even landed on Battler's face. Poor Shannon. Poor Shannon's face had been split in half, and her last horrible moments in that storehouse were repeated once again. Damn it, damn it! Stop it, stop it, stop it! Don't humiliate the dead! Don't humiliate the dead! This time, the redness spread across George's entire body. It was like a beautiful cloud drawn by milk when it's poured into black tea. It spread out and across his entire body. As it did, it seemed to give George increasingly greater pain. Looking at this bizarre spectacle, Battler was petrified as he frantically thought with his pitifully clumsy imagination about the nature of this strange death George and the rest were experiencing. Eventually, that redness reached the nearby Jessica as well. Bro, just believe! Damn! Everybody gonna die! Again! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! What did Aniki do? What did Jessica do? Just stop it! Battler! Don't let the witch break your spirit! Deny her! Erase her! As long as at least one person denies her, she's an illusion that can't exist! Are you okay, Jessica? Aniki! George was no longer recognizable as a human. He looked like a pile of leftover meat after a delicious meal has been scraped off to be cooked. The only thing that even resembled a human was the shape of his lower jaw and ribcage. It was clear that Jessica, who was covered with a steadily strengthening redness, was approaching the same fate. Battler, quickly believe in Beatrice. If you don't, everyone's magic will dissolve. Maria, it's all over your body too. I revive all the dead with my magic. But as long as you don't believe, that magic will hold no true power. But I'm sure that a man like you won't surrender to something like this, right? Battler! We didn't want to doubt our friends. We refused to face reality and gave in to the witch. But Battler, you won't give in to the witch. So the witch isn't the culprit? Then what the fuck is going on? Poor Jessica met the same end. Just like George, he ended up like a butcher's leftovers. George and Jessica were now so destroyed, melted, and mixed up, it was impossible to tell them apart. Battler, don't cry. Beatrice will restore the dead over and over, so there's nothing to be sad about. So, even if we die, we're still just fine. The redness began eating into the whole of Maria's body. The foolish battler watched and screamed. Damn. I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive you. A witch? Magic? I'll risk my body and soul to deny you. No matter what happens, I can't accept you. Now that you've gone so far to piss me off, I'll never forgive you. I won't forgive, I definitely won't forgive you. You regret making me, Ushira me a battler, your enemy. I'll deny you no matter what. No matter how baffling things get, it can all be explained by humans. I'll erase every cell of you from this world. Well said, battler was it? That's just the thing to divert me from my 1,000 years of boredom. Come, explain. Try explaining it all with human tricks and learn how lowly humans are. Let's see if what humanity has built up in 100 years can oppose my 1,000 years. That's what will make forcing you to submit so pleasant. So tell me, you who call yourself battler, what about Maria's letter? How the 6 were killed? The shutter? The receipt seal? The closed room with the chain? Kanon in the boiler room? Genji and the others in the lounge? Natsui's suicide? The riddle of the epitaph? The location of the hidden gold? Yes, battler. Why don't you show me the power of humans? Hold on. 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 It's battler. Finna find a witch and we gon' rattle her. Finna find a witch, we gon' rattle her. Finna find a witch, we finna battle her. We gon' battle her. Fight that bitch. Hit that bitch. I'ma pull up and I'ma get that switch. Shoot her in the motherfucking face. Then I'ma go and get the motherfucking mace and spray that bitch in the face. And then I'ma pull out my paws and I'ma put them bitches on her jaws, nigga. Knock that bitch out, shake her brain. And then all of a sudden, she gon' look like a lame. And then I'ma pull up with the AK and I'ma put that shit to her motherfucking fangs. And then I'ma blow her teeth out. Leave that bitch needed. Damn, that was hard as fuck. Replacing the glass with a gunshot, that's hard as fuck, I ain't gonna lie. They cooked. Addition of new elements, question marks have been added. You can find this new feature on the title screen. Well, let's see what the hell question marks is. Welcome to the tea party of those who are not human. Should I look at the question marks now? What sort of black tea shall I prepare next? Allow me to display every refined tea that ever was and never shall be. Nigga, is that Rika Furude? The fuck is she doing in Umineko? Dried plum black tea. The kind that goes for 200 yen a pack. For 1,000 years I have been fond of black tea, but I did not know of such a thing. I was never tired of living in this world. Beato, you don't have to display such hostility. I am just a wandering witch. I didn't come with the intention of violating the rules of your territory. Hostility? I bear nothing of the sort. I am just a lady terribly concerned with seeing to it that the legendary witch Lady Bernicastel is well attended to. You misunderstand. I am powerless. Before a witch such as you, who possessed the dreadful power to kill an individual 100 times, I am completely powerless. That a powerless lady witch like you possess a power that none can approach is what is truly terrifying. After all, that great witch Lady Lambadelta was dethroned by you alone. I only won an endurance contest. She simply got tired. That is not what Lady Lambadelta said though. Too much humility can be unseemly, Lady Berncastel. That girl has a dreadful power. The power to kill an individual without fail. However, without fail doesn't exist in this world. No matter how many times you divide one, you can never reach zero. That girl has the power to bring the odds of failure down to almost exactly zero. The power to give rise to almost perfect certainty. I hope I never have to fight such a terrifying witch again. However, you have the power to create success without fail, as long as the odds are not zero. Though you say without fail doesn't exist in this world, you possess an infallible power yourself. How very terrifying. The power to kill an individual endlessly. I think you're the more terrifying one. You jest. From your point of view, mine is but a trifling power. This is most certainly what one would call empty praise. Call it flattery to make up for the cost of staying here. I am a fleeing traveler who crosses the fragments, continually running from boredom. I simply came around because I heard you started something interesting. Have no doubts that I will choose to leave as soon as you are no longer interesting. I, Beatrice, am deeply and humbly delighted to have the great Lady Berncastel as an observer. And so, your impressions? Lambadelta is terrifying because of her cruelty, but she's a girl I can understand. You do seem to be capable of affection, but I can't understand you at all. That makes you much more terrifying than her. I am fickle by nature. Do forgive me. Besides, I believe you also enjoy entrusting your fate to the role of fickle dice, right, Lady Berncastel? When I roll the dice, I have a roll I clearly want to get. Unlike you. You, on the other hand, never let the dice fall from your hand. So whatever the roll might have been, you're never disappointed. Whatever roll the dice show you, you are satisfied without fail. In that sense, you far surpass me. Yo, stop fucking teleporting everywhere. You're one I really don't want to fight with. Inside of you, there's nothing but zero. That's why I can't win against you with my power. It's the worst compatibility. Perhaps Lambadelta, on the other hand, has a good compatibility against you, since she would be able to kill your endless nature. I don't want to say too much, for people who didn't watch Higurashi. So skip this little bit, you know, until I start reading dialogue again. But if you have finished Higurashi, read the novel, read the manga, watched the anime, I'm gonna go on and say this, and spoiler alerts for people who haven't finished Higurashi. But she has to be connected to Rika in some way. Because the same, I still remember, first of all, Rika's whole thing is the fact that she's constantly wishing for a miracle, alright? Bernkastel, the fact that she can make anything happen as long as the odds aren't zero, nigga, that's basically saying a fucking miracle is possible. She guarantees miracles. That's already a parallel. Second, first of all, she looks just fucking like Rika, okay? Third, what it was? Just the name Bernkastel. If I remember at the end of Dice Kill, and then Dice, she's talking about Dice and shit, that immediately made me think about my favorite Higurashi arc, by the way, Dice Killing arc. And it was during that arc where Rika calls herself a witch. And she calls herself Bernkastel. That's what she names herself. She names herself after her favorite wine, Bernkasteller. Yeah, she names herself Fredrika Bernkastel. She merged together Furude Rika and the last name and just, you know, made some shit from it, Fredrika Bernkastel. So this is pretty fucking interesting. What does this mean? Sorry if I'm like ahead of the curve here. Like if this was something I was supposed to figure out like way later into the game. I don't know, perhaps so. But there is a reason that I really fucking hate like any minor spoiler. Like you could go into my fucking comments and say some shit like, there's a character named Bernkastel. Like that would be a spoiler to me because it's not, I instantly put shit together just like that. So maybe I'm figuring this out too early, but that's just how I am. Like I just figure shit out like that. Oh yes, witches truly are the best people to enjoy black tea with. One doesn't get bored. Oh, I want to check the characters. The fuck? Execute? Resurrect? Hold on, save? What is that? What does that do? What a useless dream to try and kill me despite being a mere human. Fire your bullets and they will reflect back like the light off a mirror. However, there does exist just one way to kill me. You hold that method in the palm of your hand, though I doubt one as mediocre as you could ever pull it off. Golden witch who has lived for 1,000 years. She has surpassed the limits of humans and, like demons, will sometimes appear in response to the summons made by humans to offer her power in exchange for a price. She likes black tea and ice cream. She hates boredom and people who deny her existence. The Witch of Fragments. Yes! More Higurashi spoilers, I'm sorry. If y'all remember, the plot of Higurashi was literally time loops. And towards the end, it's revealed that she's literally like jumping through, not even looping time, but more like jumping to different fragments of the same universe, or how they could have fragmented off. Like that, like come on. The Witch of Fragments who has lived 1,000 years, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know, maybe I'm remembering wrong, but hold on, I'm sorry, Higurashi spoilers. I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm remembering wrong, but Rika did say something about looping for 1,000 years, or was it like over 100? She never specified exactly how long, but she said over 100 years. I'm pretty sure, somewhere around that. She like they had lost count or some shit after that. They stopped counting, so it's possible it has been 1,000 years she's been looping. It's all good, guys. Witch of Fragments who has lived 1,000 years. It is said she lives in a world where the concept of fate and possibilities can be visualized. She observes the fate of humans and sometimes interferes. And otherwise, sometimes she is you, and sometimes she is your only friend, understand? She enjoys wine and spicy foods. She hates boredom and people who never learn. Let's execute her. Oh, my fault? Why did she look at me like that when I killed her? By constantly continuing to think I will live forever. In other words, if I were to stop thinking, I could die at any time. However, once I start thinking again, I could also revive at any time. That's why I'm fickle and whimsical. I live as I please, die as I please, and revive as I please. Damn. Did she look different when I executed her? Oh yeah, she smiled. She was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Then I'm relieved. Boredom is the only poison that can kill me. So don't kill me, okay? Lady Beatrice, Endless Witch. If such is your wish, I, Beatrice, shall show you an even better time. In that case, wouldn't it be best if I brought the next chessboard in right away? It seems the next tale would do more for you than another cup of black tea. Just wait a moment. You're not gonna teleport? Don't fucking look at me, bitch! Hold on, why the fuck did she just look at me? That's scary! Something troublesome seems to have taken a liking to you. I'd really like to lend you my power, but as you just heard, that girl's power and mine have a very bad compatibility. Unfortunate as that may be. But you really are pitiful, so I'll help you out just a bit. First of all, about that girl. She does have the name Beatrice, but that doesn't necessarily mean she is one individual woman. Get what I mean? In other words, she's not some human. Her existence is the personification of the rules of this world. To beat her, you have to expose the rules of this world and unravel them. Perhaps this can be likened to learning the rules of chess by watching a game. First, take a good look at the chessboard. Then learn the movements and roles of the pieces. Then, look for the conditions required to win at her game. When you've managed to reveal all these things, her heart will be exposed. After that, you can rip it apart or crush it as you please. I am being quite generous. In the past, when I had a human body, it took me hundreds of years to notice even this much. This is my meager farewell gift to you, the pitiful one captured by Beato. It's just like a spoon. A spoon can be used for more than just drinking soup. You can use it to dig through the prison you're locked in, or as a weapon to gouge a witch's eyes out. Of course, you can also use a spoon to continually sip the watery soup inside your eternal cell. Don't get the wrong idea. I have no intention of becoming your ally. I do feel empathy for you, but I won't help you. It's like I'm sitting in front of the television yelling at you on the other side, even though my voice won't reach you. So you understand that I am a witch, right? I intend to enjoy this endless tale that Beato is going to weave until I tire of it. But that alone won't hold my interest. That's why I'll lend you my power. It's also that I don't get tired of this. I am the cruelest witch in the world. Whoever the opponent may be, I'll make them surrender with certainty. Even if it's Beatrice, the endless witch, okay? You are my game piece. Give it your best shot. I'll give you advice sometimes out of her sight. Don't bore me, okay? Yes, ma'am. No glass break? The witch hunt. Okay. The game board. The next episode's lock had been removed. New features again. Holy fuck. Good morning. The Golden Witch eagerly awaits your arrival. Please do grant her that wish. Were you able to get a good rest and perfect your strategy? The witch expects a lot from you and is more than ready to launch an assault right from the start. I also look forward to seeing your strategy. The difficulty level is extreme. The witch intends to make you surrender all at once. Huh. Oh, so she's trying to fuck us up immediately. She doesn't even want to give us a shot. That's the end of the episode, guys. If y'all enjoyed, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and read them all. Tap into the next one. It is 12:08 in the fucking morning, bro. I've been on this bitch. Shit, man. I wish I had a notebook. I would dead ass like start writing shit down so I could remember. That shit said extreme. I'm scared as fuck. I'm scared as fuck. Okay? It's obvious the witch is doing this, but what I'm gathering is that just because the witch is doing it doesn't mean that we have to accept that. So basically, just like what Burn Castell was saying, my fault, have a little gas. What I have to do is break down the witch's power. Not accept that it's magic, but break down the witch's magic. If that makes sense. I'm trying my hardest to make it make sense. I'm struggling. But break down the witch's magic itself. And like, just break her shit down, break down everything, solve every mystery she has. This is reminding me of a certain mystery game with where people also die. You know? If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I've already said a fuck ton of spoilers in this already regarding higurashi. So I don't want to say much more, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But man, those people who haven't watched higurashi, I really hope you fucking skipped what I said, because those spoilers are like so fucking huge. Like, it probably won't fuck up the way you enjoy it, but it'll fuck up probably one of the biggest plot twists of anything, bro. Oh man. But shit, even just saying that could be a spoiler, so I'll have to cut that shit out. But peace out. I love y'all. Tap into the next one. I'm fucking with this game. I don't know when I'm gonna start episode 2. I'll probably start that. I'm gonna start episode 2 when I start Unlimited Blade Works, and that's going to be after I finish Persona 5 Royal, after I finish my current Radaisuke Hime, which will be soon, by the way, after I finish Ace Attorney as well, after I finish after I finish those games right there, that's when I'm gonna start on Unlimited Blade Work and Umineko, episode 2. And I believe around that time I'll also be playing Danganronpa 3, or I'll be uploading it. I'm not sure, but one of those two. But hey, just look forward to the shit. Peace out. I love y'all. Tap into the next one.